Hello, I'm Dean Van Wormer, and welcome to my presentation on Charles Kettering, the innovator. Charles Kettering really impacted the automotive industry in the early 1900s, and I want to talk about some of those with you today. My original interest in Boss Kett, as he went by, was through some of the awesome inventions that he created that I dealt with in my daily life. I don't want to give those away just yet because I want to talk about them in a little more detail as we progress. Kettering was born in Ohio and graduated from Ohio State University in 1904, where he then began his career at the National Cash Register. Kettering patented many items on the cash register and eventually invented the electronic cash register. Kettering left the cash register business and started his own business with a few of his friends. They called themselves the Barn Gang, and they were in Dayton, Ohio, and Dayton Engineering Laboratories Company was the name of their company. Some of you may have heard of that as Delco. Delco mainly focused on automotive electrical systems and was purchased by the General Motors Company in 1916. General Motors was real smitten with Kettering and liked what he was doing, so they hired him in 1918 to work with them, and he became head of their research laboratories in 1920. Now here's the invention that I love the most from Kettering, the self-starter system. He invented the electric self-starter in 1911, and it went into production on cars in 1912. The electric starter replaced the hand cranking mechanisms on vehicles that were dangerous, though this made vehicles much safer. Actually, Henry Leland from Cadillac was the guy who really wanted him on this, as Henry Leland had a friend that died while starting his car. So Kettering also invented something that we use every day at this point, the electric ignition system. So introduced in 1910, it was also put on that 1912 Cadillac, and it used high voltage spark to ignite the fuel mixture, and it made vehicles more reliable and efficient. So it's really revolutionized the automotive industry, and again led to safer, easier to use cars, more accessible to more people. Kettering also developed ethy gasoline additive in 1920. This made vehicles run much smoother, reduced engine knock, and added a lot more horsepower. So we now know that having lead in the gas is not a good idea. It is a pollutant and a health hazard, so we don't use it anymore. But it was a great invention all the same. Quick drying automotive paint is also an invention of Kettering's, introduced in the 1920s. Reduced the time required for painting the car, really streamlined the process, and now people didn't have to get any color they wanted as long as it was black from Ford. It was a lot easier to get more colors on vehicles. His legacy lives on. He's had over 150 patents. He's paved the way for automotive innovation. His inventions continue to influence modern automobiles, and General Motors honored him in 1998 by changing the name of their university, General Motors Institute, to Kettering University here in Flint, Michigan. I learned a lot about Kettering when I was going through the research on this. The biggest thing that stuck out for me was his medical research that he did. I had no clue that he was involved in anything with the medical field. He invented the incubator. He had a lot to do with some cure of some diseases. I won't get into specifics for time, but he also helped invent Freon. He invented the portable generator, and near and dear to my heart, he was also a teacher. I've got a lot of added value from this research that I did on Kettering. Like I said, as a teacher, I teach electrical, HVAC, fuels-related classes, all that stuff he had a part in. I can use those lessons in my classroom to talk a little bit about history, and who doesn't like to be able to remote start their car in the morning in the winter times here in Michigan. So if it wasn't for Kettering with the self-starter systems on cars back in 1912, we may not be where we're at today. So I appreciate the things that he had done, and I appreciate your time in watching this video. Thank you.